It was just something about fucking Shawn Kemp and Gary Payton, man. And people don't know how freaking good Shawn Kemp was, man.
Kemp is there! Oh, he cocks the arm and the Hawks at home!
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Shawn Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Shawn David.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Shawn David, and I welcome you back to a brand new episode of your favorite old school NBA show, hopefully. In today's episode, I want to take a look at 10 magical Shawn Kemp, aka the Rain Man moments. But before we dive into that, do me a favor and check out the video of today's sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Magic Spoon Grain-Free Cereal. Since I am a kid of the 1980s, I grew up with my weekly dose of Saturday morning cartoons, and naturally, my cereals. But getting older and having to watch my diet, I can't just eat any cereals. And that's why Magic Spoon is so great. All the taste of delicious cereals, but healthy. Magic Spoon cereals have 0 gram of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving, and only 140 calories per serving. They're also gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and of course, low-carb. My favorite flavor is peanut butter, but you can also go with cocoa, fruity, and frosted. Any of them are just delicious. Click on the link in the description box below and use my promo code Shawn David at the checkout, or go to magicspoon.com/Shawn David for $5 off your variety pack today.
A guy with like size and athleticism that we haven't seen.
Now the first play that I want to take a look at was an incredible dunk against the New York Knicks in the Madison Square Garden. A moment that I remember like it was yesterday, where I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Let's take a look.
Shawn Kemp. Kemp picks Mark Jackson, gets the give and go. Oh!
Shawn Kemp was a guy who was out in Seattle, was known as the Rain Man, and to see him with that amazing move right at Kenny Skywalker, a guy who had won the slam dunk contest prior, I think there was probably great satisfaction on the part of Shawn Kemp.
I was very young at that time. I was 19 years old. That was my first major dunk that I had in NBA right there, was that. The one there at the Garden, and it felt great.
Shawn Kemp, the Rain Man, could get straight up in the air. He got some monster dunks he put on some people too. And he didn't consult with me about dunking. So I am the dunk consultant. He has to speak to me sooner or later to release some of these good dunks that we know about.
And the next dunk is from the 1996 NBA Finals between the Chicago Bulls and the Seattle Supersonics, and it was a dunk of Shawn Kemp against Dennis Rodman. Let's have a look.
And Bill, Seattle has led by as many as 23, so the Bulls in the midst of their second run. Kemp first and lands on Rodman and is enjoying it. You can be certain of that.
Dennis Rodman gives him a pat on the back. Even Dennis, the competitor he is, has to admire the terrific move here by Kemp. The hard spin, and then over the head as Dennis Rodman just helpless as the quickness, power, and strength of
You
Kemp.
already know what's coming, and you can't stop the rain when it starts to fall. The Rain Man has to be in this conversation.
Now, if you are an old school fan, then you remember the Lob City. The original Lob City was Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp, and they had some incredible alley-oops. And this one right here has to be, at least in my opinion, the most incredible alley-oop of that era. Let's have a look.
Get out of there at will. Ball rebounded, tapped away, McMillan to McKee. Up to Gary Payton. Lead pass to Kemp. He'll play it down. What a lob! Wow! Gary Payton with a lob ahead to Kemp. He went airborne, defied gravity. Laid it down with 2 hands, baby. Foul on the play. He will go to the line.
So whoever wins this, we're going to match him up against Super Hugo from the Hornets. Yes, there you go.
Double clutch with a one hand, leaving from just inside the free throw line.
Now, see, it's important for him to get a good number on this because he's got a 44, which is a low number already. So if he has to keep that 44, he's going to be in trouble.
probably get up.
I see he'll make the catch with the one hand and bring it back and then up again.
There it is. That's spectacular. You're talking about a guy 6'10 and a half. Look at him gracefully. Look at that. Look at his leg extending behind him.
Now, Shawn Kemp was not only a player who could dunk the ball like no other, but he could also grab a rebound and run coast to coast. And the following two plays are a perfect example of how versatile Shawn Kemp was. Let's have a look.
The key. They rotate it over to Campbell for the baseline flip. Won't go. Kemp all over that rebound like a bad suit. Out of backcourt, he comes out of the blocks on fire. Oh, raging right-handed tomahawk jam from the Rain Man. Oh,
Kemp keeps the ball alive. Poked away by X. Out ahead to Kemp. Kemp will run across midcourt, dribbles by Johnson to the cup. A thundering overhead slam. What a play! Holy cow! Shawn Kemp.
Now, back in the day, everybody wanted to dunk on Dikembe Mutombo. Why? Because not only was he one of the greatest shot blockers of all time, but he also had his finger whack, which made you even more angry, and you wanted to dunk him in so bad. And of course, Shawn Kemp had two dunks on Dikembe, but I have one favorite one, so let's have a look.
Jam in traffic. Through the foul. Send the man to the line.
Now, the next play that I want to take a look at is the Chris Gatlin dunk. Another dunk by Chris Gatlin, but yeah, you will see what I'm talking about. Let's have a look.
Rebound, Cage, deflected away, loose to the floor. McMillan scrapes it up, goes back, up he comes. Gatling swats it away. Kemp powers in with a jam. Gatling got a piece of it, comes up and says, wow, we did a job, didn't we? And they high-five each other. They really appreciate the talents. Kemp with 18 on the power jam.
Well, I'll tell you again, Shawn Kemp is the guy who can ignite you.
Only two words: Lister Blister.
They swarm him in that double team along the baseline. Now Kemp going to the hoop.
Shawn Kemp was one of the most explosive leapers we've ever had. His talent level was off the charts. And when he was in his prime, he could do anything athletic-wise.
Shawn Kemp, power, funk. My favorite dunk on Shawn Kemp was when he took a dribble and cocked it and cuffed it and threw it down on Alton Lister, and Alton fell and he pointed at him. The Lister Blister, yes.
That was a playoff game, and we were giving out some pretty nasty fouls in that fourth quarter right there. So what you seen was a little frustration come out of me. So I used to tease the guys on the court, and I used to be like, hey, if you start that with me, I'm going to put you on the poster tonight.
So that's the name of that we didn't mention in the first segment that we mentioned here in the what if category. And you look at the career of Shawn Kemp.
Original Lob City.
Yeah.
Gary Payton and
Some of
Shawn
the
Kemp, I
greatest-
may let them say they was the originators of that.
Some of the greatest in-game dunks.
It was a what? It's
you'd
not
ever
really
see.
a what if. He really was he had it, and we saw it.
And yet, but do you think you saw all that you could have seen of that career?
I don't think we've seen anyone dunk with that type of
force,
animosity. You know, just like. Oh! You know, just like, it was just like you had.
It was personal against the rim.
As Steve said, today the way he dunks, it would be a 5-game suspension. just the way he dunked.
But Shawn Kemp and the way he was built and the way he looked, you would say that would never be an issue for him. Weight, and that was so surprising that weight was an issue for him, and unfortunately, we realized probably, I think some of those other demons off the court affected him to gain the weight.
Right.
But it just showed, even when he was heavy, 50 pounds overweight, he was like, I'm still a great jump shooter. That's the difference when people say, Blake Griffin. I said, well, you've never really seen Shawn Kemp, because the one thing you could not do against him is back off him. Because his 15-foot jump shot was just as good as his dunk.
To your point, Ken, he was rolling in Cleveland, even with the weight.
With the weight. And he made the All-Star team.
So we saw him.
Right. I think we saw him.
However, you just called Vince Carter the greatest dunker of all time. Well, the next two players that you have picked as a matchup might disagree with you. Who do you got
they're in the
next?
conversation. So let me take you early 90s Rensselaer, Indiana, BC Kemp. Shawn Kemp wins the dunk contest when I was there, and he literally jumped over a car and landed on the ground. I'm not talking about what Blake did where he dunked and landed on the car. He ran and jumped over the car.
All right, you guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the content. As you already know, I mentioned it countless times on my show. I love Shawn Kemp so much. To me, he's not only one of the most underrated players of the 1990s, but this guy was just so much fun to watch and a real fan pleaser. All right, so do me a favor. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, click on the notifications button so you never miss an episode of the Basketball Time Machine. And hopefully, I'll see you next time. So take care and goodbye.